So Richard, how did you come up with the virtue questions?
You know, it's interesting. Back when I was working on Ultima 4 and I knew I wanted to do a game about virtues, I also wanted to make sure that that character was you, not like you weren't role-playing Conan the Barbarian. You know, this was you. And so I thought, how am I going to make it be you? And so I thought I needed to kind of do a psychological test, but I obviously don't want to spend a lot of time on it. You don't, a player's going to have a short attention span. And my brother Randy, my oldest brother Randy, was telling me a story he had learned in med school, I think, a psychology test. And and it was a story that my memory is that he told it to me using the characters of the Popeye series as the characters for this, and then it ends with a set of questions. And the story goes something like this. It says, imagine that, if you will, that Popeye and Olive Oyl love each other, but they live on the opposite sides of this raging river. And so Olive Oyl, who wants to get across the river and see Popeye, can't because she has no way to get across the river herself. So she first goes to see their friend Brutus, their mutual friend Brutus, who lives on the same side of the river as her, and says, Brutus, you're in love with Popeye, Popeye loves me, but I can't get across the river to see him. Will you help? Because you have a boat. And Brutus says, yes, I do have a boat, and I'd be happy to help you, but you have to sleep with me first. And Olive Oyl goes, nah, okay, well, I'll skip that. So she goes to see their only other friend who lives on this side of the river with a boat, which is Wimpy. And he goes, Wimpy, I love Popeye, Popeye loves me, I'd like to go see him. I went to see Brutus, but he demanded I sleep with him before he wouldn't take me, but you're the only one else that has a boat. Will you take me across the river to see Popeye? And Wimpy goes, oh, no, hey, I'm not even getting involved in this. Sorry, I can't help you. And Olive Oyl thinks and says, I don't know what else to do. There's really these only two boats over here, so I guess I'm going to have to submit to Brutus. So she does. She actually sleeps with Brutus. Brutus is man of his word. He takes her across the river to see Popeye, and Olive Oyl, being an honest woman, has to tell Popeye what she's done, so she explains the whole story to Popeye, and Popeye is outraged that she would do this, and so he spurns her and sends her away and says, I never want to talk to her again. Olive Oyl, of course, is distraught, and Olive Oyl then goes to see another one of their friends, we'll call him Chris, who lives here on this side of the river, and says, Chris, explains the whole story about Popeye and Brutus and Wimpy, and the fact that she's been spurned, and Chris goes and says, that Popeye's being utterly outrageous. I'm going to go beat him up, and he does. So Chris goes over and beats up Popeye for being such an idiot. So that's the story. Mm-hmm. Now the question that you must answer is, rank for me, in order from worst deed to least worst deed, how you think of those 5 people.